Pepetools has been long known for their disc cutters, and the improvements that they have made on these in the most recent years is fantastic. Well, they've done it again, and they have come out with an oval disc cutter. Hi, I'm Melissa Muir. In this video, I'd like to introduce you to this cutter, show you some of the different features and how to use it. Let's check it out now. So this is the new disc cutter by Pepetools, and really quickly I'll just go through what comes in the kit because it is a full complete kit. You get the Pepe Lube, which is going to be really good for conditioning the edges of your cutting pieces. You also get the urethane pad, so all of this comes with this. You have the base, which is an HDPE, which is a high density polyethylene. Basically it's a thermoplastic, moldable plastic that you can create different things with. In this case, they have used it to create the base for our piece. Now, I know that it's kind of difficult to see because of the lighting that my setup has here, but there are actual markings indicating which punch goes where, and that is going to correspond to the laser engraved markings also on the cutter itself. Now, another thing too, there are 6 oval cutters on this. The next closest one has 4, and it's over $100 more. So this is going to be a very great value in addition to being an awesome tool. Now, just like the round disc cutters by Pepetools, it also features the stainless steel knob. This is lower profile, so it's perfect for using in the hydraulic press as well as with a hammer. So if you accidentally hit the knob, you're not going to be worried about damaging the cutter itself because nothing is going to happen. Whereas if you have a plastic one, well, let's say they probably sell a bunch of replacements. So let's check out some of the sizes. We've got an 18 by 13, 20 by 12, 20 by 15, 24 by 14, 25 by 18, and 30 by 22. Like I said, it's the only disc cutter out there that has this many. The next closest only has 4. Now, another part of my favorite features of the newly designed disc cutters from Pepetools is that punch clearance system on the bottom. And what this is going to allow you to do is put your metal in, strike it through with your punch, and your entire punch is going to clear. There's no more worry about your punches getting stuck halfway through your disc cutter because, you know, the thing shifted or whatever else the case might be. Now, another thing that's kind of nice is that with this knob, you can open and close the disc cutter, so it doesn't matter what size of metal you have. You can put it in, close it down tightly onto it, and not have to worry about your metal shifting around. So that's something that's pretty awesome. Now, another thing that's really good on here is this black coloring. This is a black oxide that they put onto here to help prevent any kind of rust. Now, that's not going to say that rust isn't going to happen if you're in a super humid environment, but it is definitely going to do a great deal for keeping that rust at bay. Now, how do we use this? Just like the other disc cutters from Pepetools, what you would do is you would open up your disc cutter. Let's say that you've got your metal that you are going to be punching. I'm going to insert it. Let's do a big one here. So 30 by 22 is what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to get my metal into here, place my pattern wherever I want my design, whatever the case might be. Now, before I close this down completely, I want to shim this other side. Now, in this case, I happen to be using 22 gauge metal, and I have created a little shim system for mine. And basically, all I did was cut out some 1-inch squares. I stamped them with each of their gauges. And what this allows me to do is bring this shim in on the other side. And now when I close my cutter down, both of these are going to be in here, and it's going to help hold everything flat. Now, this is something that you want to do with all of your disc cutters. It doesn't matter if it's a Pepe or whatever else is out there. Any of these adjustable ones, you want to be able to keep your cutter level. Okay, and that's going to make sure that your punches go through straight and don't kind of tilt or damage either the cutter or the base itself. So now that we have this, we have our punch. Now, any good disc cutter, whether it's a round, an oval, other shapes, whatever, this is the thing that you want to look for. There is actually an angle cut on this cutter itself. So it's wider at one end than it is at the other. This has a 17-degree angle on this. And what this allows this to do is when you put this into your cutter, it is going to be cutting or begin cutting at the one edge and slowly work its way through, actually quite quickly, but it will work its way through the metal rather than coming down flat with all the force that way. So this is going to cut much easier than a cutter that is just ground flat. So you want to have that angle, and any good disc cutter worth its money is going to have that. So now that I have this in here, again, I'm working with 22 gauge. I use a brass hammer. It doesn't have to be an expensive or a really nice brass hammer because it's definitely going to get marked up anyway, but you want a brass hammer, not a steel hammer. And that is going to help kind of cushion this blow and not damage your punches or your cutters. So a brass hammer, this one happens to be a 1 pound. A lot of people prefer a 2 or a 3 pound. And that's fine too, whatever you prefer. And you want to give a nice good strike. It may take a couple strikes to get it through. But that's the beauty of this type of system, is that your metal is held tight, so we don't have to worry about that metal bouncing around in here. So we're going to give a couple good strikes. And like I said, we've got that full punch clearance system, so my punch stays. I don't worry about it getting stuck in the cutter. And now I have a perfectly cut oval that is repeatable. So if I wanted to do this again, I would just open up my cutter, reposition my metal, and we do it one more time. Notice that I'm doing this on the urethane pad. This is to help protect that cutter as it comes through. And there's our second oval. And so now I'm ready for making earrings, for making a pendant, a bracelet, whatever it is that you are going to be creating. Now, like I said, everything stores nicely here in the base. They are all marked with their different sizes. The holes in them are round so that they fit the pegs, not necessarily the cutter. To store everything, you would just close your base down. It stands straight up in here, and you're ready to go. Now, before you use any of your cutters, one thing that you want to do is lubricate that cutting edge. And it does not take very much at all. So all you have to do is just take that edge of your cutter and just gently go through that lube. So you can see there's very, very little just here on the edges, and that is all you need. And now we're ready to go for the next time. Pepetools is located in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, meaning that your disc cutter is 100% made in the USA. You can find these disc cutters at a couple of different locations, but if you have any questions or further comments, just give me a shout out, let me know, and we'll get back to you. Have a great day.